This is part 3 and the last video I'll make on TikTok. I haven't put up my ring light, so sorry about the lighting. But I don't want to set it up because I have a big baby on my lap. See? And he is a big baby. He's a love bully. He's so sweet. Anyways, I moved my bed from down low back up to high. I live in this little trailer, and that way I can have my bed back to myself at night. I do have to share it with a few cats, but at least I have room now to sleep and to move. And the way I rearranged my trailer, I was able to set up the dog crate. So he's in the dog crate at night, and my other little dog is on the floor where he used to be. And it's working out very, very, very well. God helped me with the design because I prayed about it. I said, Lord, help me to organize this. And it's organized beautifully and perfectly. And I'm very grateful. But since I did that, my love bully here, Buckaroo, he doesn't get his snuggle time. So this morning he wanted up in my lap. So this is snuggle time for him. And it's wonderful. It's not the most comfortable since I don't really have a back to my chair. I'm kind of leaning against this thing here. But anyways, so I don't know if I said it. I probably said it. This is the last video I'll do on the TikTok thing. When they reopened TikTok, it wasn't even closed down for 24 hours. It was just long enough to make some kind of transition. And only the powers that be know the full extent of that transition. But I think most of us know that it went under the authority of the government and Meta, because Mark Zuckerberg works very closely with the government. And they were really pushing to have the CEO sell out or whatever to Meta, to go under the same security servers as Meta. Now, China and TikTok had different, and there's some others that have different security services, but in America, there's one particular one that they prefer because the government does fleece our data. And so, anyways, I had taken TikTok and Lemonade off my phone and I couldn't re-download them, but I got on my tablet and I noticed they were still on my tablet, so I was able to get on TikTok. So I created a video and I was uploading the video, and it got to 96% after probably an hour, at least an hour of trying to upload it. It wasn't passing 96%. It's like it was not going to let my video upload. So I said a prayer and told God, the last time I got on TikTok, I said, now if it's still uploading, I'm just going to get off of TikTok. I'll take that as my sign. I said, but if it's gone through, I'll stay on TikTok. Because while the video was uploading, I did some scrolling through TikTok, some of the people that I was following, and also some of the just the For You content, which is on an algorithm. So I get some a lot of Christian content, mostly. And I say Christian content, but it's not content most of it's not content that I will pay a lot of attention to, but I do listen and see what people have to say and you know, the typical thing that we do. Boy, the feeling I got scrolling through TikTok was not good. It was a completely different feeling. And when I'm around demonic influence anymore, I get a low-grade headache and a pressure inside of me. And that's what it felt like. And there was something nefarious about scrolling through TikTok. I just didn't feel good. It didn't feel right. And I was like, oh, this is terrible. Should I stay and continue to spread the gospel? And then I realized, well, I probably have some people that I'm following that are true followers of the Lord, that he will probably have them stay on this app and continue their work here. But I just was like, oh, this is really terrible. And so finally, after my video wouldn't upload, I took that as kind of my fleece before the Lord. If it's still uploading after this hour or so, because I didn't want to scroll through TikTok anymore. It was just so oppressive, and people, the vitriol, and also then this euphoria over TikTok being restored, even among some of the Christian community, and so there's this euphoria, and there's this vitriol, and there's this I just felt like so much of it was so demonic, and I just felt like I couldn't get away from it fast enough. And so I thought, but, I can't run if God wants me to stay here and continue, sharing. I will do that. God will provide that. But that's not what I got. That's not what I got, was to stick around and stay. And so finally, when I made my fleece before the Lord and said, if my video's still uploading after this, probably more than an hour, I said that I'm just going to get off of TikTok and delete my account and get off. And it was still uploading. So I had the video recorded already. So it's one of the videos I played. It was a part 1 video. And so I just deleted my account and got off TikTok and deleted it off my phone and off I don't know if I kept the app on my tablet or not. I don't remember. I'd have to look and see. But I'm not. I just can't do that. It was there was something just so when we have anger and hostility and vitriol in our hearts, that gives the platform for the devil to enter and set up residence. And that's what I experienced there. I experienced this like euphoria, like you might see in a cult member's eyes, that glaze, or the vitriol, that extreme hostility and anger and just violence. And so I got off. Made me think of a dream I had. I was in a town with my husband. Of course, we were living in our car at the time. It was our car. And we went into this church. It was a nice day. It was just any other day, we were in this town and we went into this church, and the name of the church stood out to me. And so we went in and we were looking around, and I thought, should we be here? I mean, nobody's here. I don't know if they even care for us looking around, since nobody's in the church. And pretty soon I realized that it wasn't the kind of church that we wanted to be in. It was demonic. There was this demonic music playing over the speakers, and there was just trinkets and things laying around that my husband was enthralled with all this stuff laying around and really checking things out. And I just knew in my spirit that they were going to be having a meeting there soon, and people would start showing up soon. And I did not want to be there when they showed up. So I tried cajoling my husband out of the church. I said, well, we really need to leave. We need to leave. But he was mesmerized by this church and the things inside of this church. And eventually he just wasn't hearing me. He just wasn't hearing me. And eventually I just had to leave. And I thought, I've got to get out of here. He's not coming. I have to go. Maybe he'll follow after me. And when I left the church, it wasn't the same outside as when I went in the church. When I went out, everything was in chaos. The streets were in chaos, and there was people running in panic and terror because there were gangs of people just demonically possessed and just giddy and violent, and giddy with violence against other people. And they were getting off on it, on being violent and harming and beating up and killing and murdering and raping, I'm sure, other people. So you had the people that were terrorized and the people that were in a frenzy of piranhas, or maybe a shark feeding frenzy. How the sharks go crazy when there's the blood in the water and they go into this feeding frenzy. That's kind of how it was. And so I hurried to the car where we were, and these young men were, just really violating the car, beating the car and stuff. And I got inside the car, and my oldest grandson was in the front seat, but he was looking ahead like he was in sheer terror and trying not to be noticed. And I got out and I started reprimanding this young man, and I said, "This is my home. This is where I live." And because we had all our stuff in the trunk of the car for living. And so I told him to stop it, with authority. And he gave the pretense of like backing off. So he backed off, and I got back in the car. And when I got back in the car, somebody, with a hoodie on, I couldn't see their face. They were all under their hoodie, climbed into the seat next to me and just sat there. And I don't know if it was a nefarious person, a nefarious individual, or if it was somebody trying not to be noticed by the crowd, kind of like my grandson, just in terror, and trying to just not be noticed and trying to hide. So I got out of my car. After I got back in the car, this young man that had backed off, that was beating up on my car and stuff, he grabbed a huge piece of sheet metal and then started ramming the trunk of the car to get the trunk open, and just started ramming the car with this huge sheet metal, and laughing and just in a hysteria. And I realized that my husband wasn't coming out, and he wasn't going to protect me, and that I had no protection as far as he was concerned. And that's when the dream ended. And almost very shortly after I had the dream, the name of the church got blocked from my memory. All the elements of the dream I can remember, but the name of the church got blocked. And that's how this TikTok experience felt like. It felt like I left and it was a normal day, and I came back and there was a different spirit attached to it. And that I had to leave that place, that I couldn't stay there anymore. So I did cancel my TikTok. I am no longer on TikTok, and I'm no longer on Lemonade or any of those social medias. Again, I'm only on YouTube, Pinterest, and Snapchat for as long as time allows. God bless and keep you all. I'm going to attach a link to this video. I encourage you to watch it. It reminds me of the dream I had. God bless and keep you.